Let's get her head level straight. Oh, here we are live. Caught us chit-chatting. Hi, welcome to the A-List. I'm Angela Stribling here with my favorite Autumn Joy. You are looking gorgeous as usual.
Who are you, girl? Your hair is always popping. Your curls they always understand the assignment. That is
Thank you. You know what? I can't even take credit. This is my daddy's hair right here. I am like, Daddy, I'm so glad. Thank you for giving me your hair. Just wash and go. But that's such a sweet compliment. You know what? We have our friend Sherri Warren on tonight, and she's going to talk about this new docuseries. And, you know, we've got a whole lot to talk with her about, but she gave us a whole scoop, didn't she? Just now?
Breaking news. Whoa.
Breaking news. I mean, breaking news. Nick Cannon's show just got canceled. Oh my gosh. Nick Cannon's television show. You know, I'm so happy that he's got this new, he's got a new morning show. So good for him. That was just in the nick of time. That was corny. I couldn't resist. You know what? Before we bring on Sherri, just a couple other tidbits. So, you know, I am always not a fan of when someone is famous, somebody in the family makes it, and then you've got that one sibling who's trying to pull you down.
Yeah.
Markle's sister is suing her right now. And I don't feel good about that. So apparently Samantha is suing Meghan Markle for defamation of character, claiming that Meghan is just saying that she, you know, had this awful upbringing. Her family treated her terribly. Samantha is claiming, no, she had a great upbringing and everything was roses. And so stop saying that just to make yourself look good. So she's suing for $75,000. Why?
That's girl, like, come on now. But let me ask you a question, Angela. This is important. Okay. Is Samantha Caucasian, or is this her full Caucasian sister, or because here's what I'm saying.
It's a good question.
Her dad, you know, first her dad came out and was doing all of this talking
way too much.
Putting business out there, signing book deals, taking money, all of that.
Right.
So we're noticing a pattern. But my thing is this. Samantha, sis, you did not live the life that Meghan lived as a mixed.
Thank you. Oh my gosh.
That's predominantly white. So you cannot sit up here and tell Meghan that her experiences aren't real. But that just goes to show you literally how America is when it comes to, you know, other people's cultures and other people's upbringing. Yeah. So I'm not surprised by this. I do think that Meghan has become like the punching bag, if you will, the scapegoat for her family, and quite frankly, a quick come up, because they know, all right, I'm going to sue her for $75,000. I will probably get
not about the money.
15 at most, because she's not going to get the full 75. Because it's like, girl, did she say your name specifically? No, she's speaking on her own personal experience. So.
And I think, you know, maybe it's not even entirely about the money. Who's ever heard of Samantha? Now they do.
It has to be about the money, though. Like, really? Because Meghan didn't say Samantha made my life a living woo. No, she was like, I just had bad upbringing.
You don't think it's the 15 minutes?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think that she's probably going to drop a law book soon. And
that's what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Yeah, it's going to give Britney Spears' sister. You know what I'm saying?
But yeah, exactly. Oh, I hate that so much. And you know what? In other news, your hair is looking fantastic also. How did I miss that? You're talking and your hair is moving. Woo! Oh,
diamond hair.
One more tidbit before we bring in our girl Sherri. So Mary J. Blige is going to do something that I think is so dope. Mother's Day weekend, she's launching this whole, you know, women weekend where it's going to be storytelling, music, you know, all female, and it's a festival. So just keep your eyes and ears open for that. I love Queen Mary anyway. And I love that she's doing that. You know, people sharing stories.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, really quickly, she did an interview with Frank Ski. I think it was yesterday, and they.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and she just talked about the importance of just uplifting women. And I mean, after Good Morning Gorgeous, every time I hear that song, I just like, thank you, Mary.
Love it. Exactly.
Mary, so thank you, sis. You know, so I love what she's doing. I love this Mary 2.0. Ever since she's signed with her new label, they definitely got her a lot. So
she's in a good place and she deserves every piece of it. I mean, I've watched, and I'm sure you have to, we all have. We watched her just come all the way up. And thank you, Mark, for that compliment. That's pretty sweet.
Her hair always looks good, Mark.
Aw, love, love, love. Andre, Nick Cannon show, for real. This is, you heard it first on the A list. And, you know, we've got to give credit to the woman who gave us that scoop. Let's just bring her in. So there is a docuseries, and it's on Discovery Plus, and now this. And it's an unsolved mystery. Unfortunately, over 30 years ago, I believe 36 years ago, Sherri Warren's brother, Keith Warren, was found hanging right outside of Silver Spring, Maryland. They deemed it a suicide and, you know, just covered up everything. And now they're telling the story. I believe Sherri joined forces with the co-founder of Black Lives Matter for this docuseries, but she's going to give us all the details. Please welcome our friend, record label executive, beautiful lady, Sherri Warren. Yay! Hi, Sherri.
Oh.
So, okay, the sound went off again. This happened when we first signed on, whatever you hit before.
That would be me.
There you go.
I had it on mute. I did it. That was me. Sorry.
I take full response. First of all, Sherri, thank you for that scoop about Nick Cannon.
We're going to start calling you TMZ Warren. That's what we're going to call you.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, and it's unfortunate. I think he has such great energy, but I think sometimes certain things aren't for certain people. If that makes sense.
Yeah. So. You know, and it probably came about when he sat in that first time for Wendy. He blew it out of the water.
He did.
And, you know, maybe he'd just come on Sherri Shepherd's show once in a while. And
but having your own show, that's a lot. You know, I mean, damn near killed Wendy. So
it's a lot. It's a lot. So Sherri, you know, Autumn and I, we couldn't wait to have you on here. We both love you so much. And our hearts go out to you for just you and your family and what you must have been going through for all these years. Just start from the beginning, the whole, the case, you know, back in 1986 and just, you know, where you were then.
Okay, so for all those that don't know, well, first of all, thank you, ladies, for having me, and thank you, Alpayne. I love you to death. My name is Sherri Warren, and in 1986, my brother was found strung up on a tree in Montgomery County, Maryland. And at the time, we were told that it was a suicide, that he had committed suicide. But you know how you know in your gut when something ain't right. But, you know, I encourage people to go watch the docuseries. It's a 3-part docuseries on Discovery Plus. And you can sign up for the platform. All 3 are available. It's titled Uprooted. Because I can tell you, I'm not going to do it justice in this 45 minutes. Like, it's a 3-hour docuseries which goes into, and I want people to come away with their own opinions. The one thing I said when we first started talking about this, which was 5 years ago, was that I want people to walk away with their own. I don't want any rabbit holes. I don't want any speculation. I just want to hit people with facts and what's factual here, right? And then you can walk away with your own opinions. Because, you know, I can say all day what he didn't do, that he didn't do it, but physically I wasn't there, right? My mother wasn't there. The Chief Jones wasn't there. But we had people that were there that said this was not a suicide. We have evidence to show that it was not a suicide. And my simple ask of the county and state is show me that it was and how it was, and I'll go away. But in my many meetings, I can never get a direct response to my question. It's a two-step tap dance around the subject. And it's a real simple question. Show me something physically, medically, and scientifically how he did it, how he strung himself up on a tree. Because again, I want people to go watch the docuseries to understand where I'm coming from. We have physical pictures that show you. This is not something that I'm just making up. There are pictures. His feet are on the ground. He's literally strung up, right? Show me something that he did it. Because I can show you how he didn't do it. Show me how he did. And it's not just me. The docuseries has other officials, has other county people speaking on my behalf, voicing their support of my goal is to get his death certificate updated to reflect the evidence. My goal is to get the case reclassified to reflect the evidence, and the evidence shows this is not a suicide. But for whatever reason, Montgomery County, Maryland, they on that hill, and they want to die on that hill. Like they are digging in. But I kind of know what it is. If Keith was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed person back in 1986, he probably put it the same sweat equity they put in trying to solving the Lyon sisters case, which, by the way, God rest their soul. The Lyon sisters, if you Google it, were two little white girls that went missing back in 1976 in Wheaton Plaza, and they solved that case in 2020, 40 years later. Right.
Wow.
Now,
and wasn't there at the same time? Wasn't there a dog that went missing?
Yeah. So my mom at the time. So my mom passed away in 2009, right? And at the time, I let her be the face of this because I have my way of handling things and she had her way. My mom was very poised. She thought she had to put on a particular face talking to white men, right? About her black son on a tree, right? So she kind of thought she had to be presented in a certain way. So she was demanding answers. After we found out that the detective was cutting trees down and collecting evidence after we buried him and closed the case. That's, again, I encourage people to watch the docuseries. It was in the Washington Post. A police dog went missing in 94. And the Montgomery County Police Department put so much manpower and sweat equity in finding this dog. They even brought a psychic in to find this police dog. But you can't address my mother and her concerns about her son being strung up on a tree.
Sherri.
It's sad.
So let me ask you this, Sherri, and forgive my ignorance because I've known you for a while and I had no idea your Instagram name was based around your brother. You know, I didn't know. And so you've been at this again for a while, but tell us about your brother. Tell us about the last time you remember speaking to him and what kind of person he was and how you know for sure that this, was not a suicide, obviously.
Yeah.
So full transparency, my brother was a black white boy. So for all those that understand that, all of his friends were white, right? I had spoken to him on Monday, and I was in Jersey visiting my aunt at the time, my mom's sister. And my uncle was getting married that following weekend. So he was going to come to Jersey, visit my aunt, come get me, bring us back. And we were going to go south to my uncle's wedding. My mom said he left the house on Tuesday. Now, he had a great personality. He had a circle of friends, right? They were always in my house, on my floor, in my refrigerator, always around, right? But the day he left the house was the last time I spoke to any of them. Okay? Hold that thought.
Whoa.
He was a very handsome individual. He used to tell me I was blessed to have a brother that looked as good as he did. He was very cute guy.
He would tell you that.
He would tell me. He's like,
I love it.
I mean, he thought he was just good.
I love that.
And he was my protector. Like when I was little, my mouth would get me in trouble. We went to a private Catholic school when we were in elementary school. And yeah, I would get in trouble and he would have to fight my battles for me because he wasn't gonna let nobody. His motto was only person that could put their hands on me was him to beat me up. He wasn't gonna allow nobody else to beat me up. So he was my protector. And I feel like I'm protecting him and his name.
Yeah. That's what it sounds like. Yeah.
Yeah. And and I can't let my mom went to her grave mourning her child. Like all she wanted was answers. And I think the day Keith died was the day she started losing a little bit of life. Oh. And the day at her funeral, I said, unfortunately, we did it your way. Now we're doing it my way. And I have zeros to give. Okay. You aren't gonna get that niceness. You're not gonna catch you're gonna catch the other side, because Montgomery County played with her emotions. You're not playing with mine, because I sat and watched and I learned, and I've learned lessons from her struggle and what not to do, and I'm not doing that. So I think,
Sherri, I'm thinking about, Montgomery County back in those days, and just how racist it was then, and in many ways still is today. And so, just hearing your story and, reading things about you and your brother and your families, I can only imagine just you and your family going up against the police department, everybody, and they're trying to cover this whole thing up, and what that fight has to feel like. I mean, it's like there were many sayings where somebody's doing one thing and trying to convince you that it's something else. They're, clearly hiding the evidence. Clearly, the way that he was hung, nobody can hang themselves that way, where it's like clearly a lie, but you're forced to deal with it and not be able to do anything. So, I mean, you can't go to the police department. They're the ones covering it up. So, now that you have the media, the goal right now, as you said, is to at least change, the reason for his death. Are you finding that you're making any headway these days?
No, because it's the interesting part about this, and I want people to understand this, because now we're in midterms and now we in voting season. Particularly those people listening in Montgomery County, Maryland. There's only one county official that has addressed and acknowledged and offered his assistance, and his name was Hans Reamer. The county executive has yet to acknowledge me. The state's attorney has been avoiding me, John McCarthy, for 13 years. And I'm waiting on a response from the attorney general now, because we were going to approach the medical examiner's office, and I'm laughing because it's just ironic how the timing worked. But the day the doc was released on the 18th, which was a Wednesday, I want to say, the state medical examiner quit on that Friday.
Oh my goodness. You can't make this stuff up. This is crazy.
But yeah, he quit on that Friday. So we're waiting for there's an interim in there now. We're waiting. But see, this is what I want people to understand about the state of Maryland. Y'all sitting in your houses in your comfortable couch and watching TV. What happened to me can actually happen to you. We got to fix this system in Maryland. The justice system has to get fixed somehow, some way. And I'm hoping that me shining light on these irregularities, on what I'm experiencing, like, it shouldn't be that hard to update his death certificate to reflect the evidence. It should not be that hard. It should not be that hard to update his case and with the police to reflect the evidence. But it's like I'm being bounced around like a ping pong, because the chief told me back in last year that I need to talk to the medical examiner's office. And then he said in the article that was released in the Bethesda Times, I think it was, that no, the attorney general has to step in. So which is it? Do you want me to go? Because I thought it was just you. Like I've been talking to them since 2009. They never said to me, you need to go to the medical examiner's office. Until they got approached by the production team, did they say, well, no, we can't do anything. She has to go talk to the medical examiner. Well, when was she going to tell me?
So let me ask you this. Are any of the original police officers that were the first responders, the detective on the scene, are any of them still alive? Like, can we go to the door? Like, yo, we here on behalf of Sherri. What's up, gang, gang? Like, we need answers. Like,
what can we do?
So the interesting, funny question. I asked that question. There was a first responder by the name of Dallas Lip, and Dallas will always be my hero. Dallas Lip was a paramedic at the time. He was on the scene when the day my brother's body was found, and he signed an affidavit to the effect that said basically saying, and it's online, that there's no way he could physically see my brother committing suicide in the manner his body was found in. Dallas is actually part of the docuseries, by the way. I'm not going to say, I employ, it's not just me. I have Doug Gansler. Anybody don't know who that is? Doug Gansler was the former state's attorney for Montgomery County, former attorney general. He's on the docuseries.
Wow.
On behalf of my family. So again, it's not just me. I'm imploring people to go and watch it and understand that the system of justice in Maryland does not work for Keith Warren. I can't speak for everybody else, but I'm pretty sure I'm not the only family that's been going through this. I'm just a different type of soul where I just can't. You not gonna tell me something's black and I see it's white. I'm just not gonna accept it.
Thank you. And I love and appreciate and applaud you for all of that. I mean, because you're very brave, and it's the love of your brother and the love of your family that you're doing this. When people watch the docuseries, is there anything that we as viewers can do to help, like afterwards, write letters to our,
petition?
What? Petition? How can we help?
Excuse me. Unfortunately, the statute of limitations is not my friend. The only legal recourse that my family had was that his civil rights was violated, from what we were told. And there's a statute of limitations on that, which is 7 years. Of course, we're way out that window. So right now I'm trying this in the court of public opinion, and I'm asking people to write letters to Brian Frost and to John McCarthy and to Mark Elridge, to Will Smith, the congressman that covers Montgomery County, to Steny Hoyer, to Jamie Raskin, about Keith, because what I feel like I've accomplished one goal, and that one goal was that Keith's name will never go away. See, I think that once they thought that when we buried Keith, that this was going to go away, right? The detective is still around, by the way, to answer your question. He ain't. He's still.
What's his name, sis? What's his name?
We'll talk offline.
Full name.
Look, it's online.
Autumn.
The police officer passed away, literally just passed away in January.
Oh, wow.
So, but I feel like he had a story to tell, because the police officer was black, the detective is white. So and there's some things that were revealed to me by the now chief Jones, who was then Captain Jones in 2014. So long story short, and I implore anybody who's ever going to fight against the justice system, use the Freedom of Information Act and also the Maryland Public Information Act if you live in Maryland. Under the FOIA and under the MPIA, I requested their documents, everything that they had on Keith when Chief Manger was in office. So long story short, I get the box. They try to be slick and send me quadruplicates of things, thinking I ain't going to have time to go through everything, which I did. And there was a note in there. And I want you to watch the docuseries. Basically, the police officer was questioning the actions of the detective in a handwritten note that didn't make the police report. And so when I asked Captain Jones, who's now Chief Jones, about it, basically Chief Jones admitted to me in writing, it's online, that detective used information from a third party, unknown, unrelated, undocumented source at the scene to classify our brother's death as a suicide, and then justified that information to send his body to the funeral home of Detective Beasley's choice, ordering no autopsy. Yeah.
Seems like for those reasons, they should be able to reopen this.
Exactly.
I'm so confused. It's like you said, Angela, it just sounds like a clear-cut case.
Blatant.
Somebody needs to just take the initiative and say, hey, you know what? This ain't right. That's
right.
That's it.
And then I'm hoping you're so smart to do this documentary. It's putting it out there. It's on the radar. People can see it. There's power in writing those letters, and just, keep going, sis. Oh, wait, before we let you go though, there was something, somebody who was trying to find your brother, and then he ended up dead. What was that story?
So,
not to give away what's in the docuseries,
but there was another individual who left a message on our answer machine, because back then was answer machines, we didn't have voicemail. He left a message on the answer machine saying he needed to come over, needed to unload. I heard the message. My mother told me to take the message to the police department. I take the message to the police department, and a month later, Mark is dead. Now, I'm gonna let your listeners, judge for themselves. But the same precinct, Wheaton Glenmont, that investigated my brother's death, investigated Mark's death, and they ruled Mark's death as a suicide. So they claimed that Mark was riding his bicycle at 5 a.m. in the morning. Bicycle, not saying motorcycle, bicycle, and the front tire of his bike popped off. He fell off the bike and hit the ground with enough energy that he knocked himself dead. And we went back to that scene during the docuseries. There's no way. There's physically no way he could have done it. None.
You know what this sounds like to me? This sounds like a police officer cover-up. This sounds like somebody's son, daughter was involved in this, and there were.
But be mindful. Remember, I said, now my brother's friends, the day he left the house was the last day.
You didn't see any of them. And okay, I have another question because of, I think of Emmett Till. Mm-hmm. Were there any white girls that he might have been interested in?
There were some, but from what I'm gathering, because again, we didn't what's the word? We didn't intertwine friends. So I don't know exactly. Yes, to your question. I just got to figure out. Yeah.
So
honey. I feel like we all know what this is, and
but something needs to be done about it.
Yeah,
Sherri,
our hearts go out to you. I'm sorry, Autumn. Were you trying to say something?
Well, I was going to say, kind of, thank God they just passed the the hanging.
Well, see, here's the problem with that though, because I've been getting that a lot. People have been. I appreciate everybody texting me and sending me that article. The police department has to cooperate, and do you think they're going to see? It's like they're not going to cooperate. Yeah. I need an outside agency to come in and investigate the investigation, because I can't have.
How about that?
Because what the chief will say is his response is that this has been the most investigated case in county history. Well, yeah, if you're investigating yourself, why would I want the detective investigating himself when he's the reason why I want the investigation? That's stupid.
Right?
Y'all sound crazy.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
So I implore everybody to go watch. It's called Uprooted. It's on Discovery Plus. Thank God for Matt McDonough. He's the executive producer. He heard me on a podcast and he saw me online. I troll different sites that talk about my brother's case. Was profiled years ago on another show. And so people had these message boards. So I was trolling a troll on a message board.
Good.
So the producer, he saw me troll and he was like, I got to meet her. So we met about 5 years ago. And then we started talking about the case and what he wanted to do. And he wanted to tell my brother's story. So I'm extremely blessed.
So perfect. Yeah, you are. And for people who are watching and listening now, and you never know, they might have some information and they want to talk to you confidentially or just connect with you. How can they do that?
So my Twitter handle is Justice for Keith, JUSTICEFORE KEITH. My Instagram is Sherri_Warren, Justice for Keith. Let's see. Facebook is Keith W. Warren. And I can also be reached at info@thekeithwarrenjusticefoundation.org.
Wow. God bless you,
Sherri.
And
then you can also go to the KeithWarrenJusticeSite.com and find out more information about the case, because I post updates and documents on there as well.
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it myself.
Yeah. Well, really quickly, I just want to say, Sherri, as your friend and someone who's grown to love you and know you personally, I would have no idea that this is something that you were going through.
I'm getting that a lot. Well, it's crazy. Yeah. I would tell people this. It's kind of hard to broach the conversation. Hey, my name is Sherri Warren. My brother was strung up on a tree, but I believe things happen like they're supposed to. No, If you see the docuseries, you understand where I get my personality and character, my family. We all But I think everything happens like it's supposed to. So like your listeners, now that we're having this interview and we're talking, they now can go watch the docuseries and see for themselves and judge and make a judgment for themselves. Yeah. So everything happens in the right time.
It does. This has been such a great conversation, and you've given us some insight, and you didn't give any spoiler alert. So we're still intrigued and going to watch it. And I love the fact that people can.
I'm going.
Me too.
Yeah. And you got my number. Call me. I want to hear what your thoughts are.
Absolutely.
I think they did a great job in the director Averill Speaks did a wonderful job in not re-victimizing my family, but telling the story.
Good. Oh, that's beautiful.
And giving it a overall, like, Keith was loved. He was a son. I want people to understand Keith's life mattered. I want Montgomery County to understand Keith's life mattered. I want Chief Jones, who's been on the force for 35 years. Yeah, Chief Jones talking to you. Keith's life mattered. Okay, so I'm not going away. As long as I got breath, we're going to continue to talk about this.
Yeah. There you go. I love it so much. I mean, and what a beautiful family member. We all would want that, right? I mean, if anything happens to us, we would just be blessed to have a sibling, daughter, sister, brother, somebody with your spirit, Sherri. So continued success with this. We're going to watch. We're going to hit you up and go from there. But thank you so much for spending time with us.
On a lighter topic.
Yeah. Yes, definitely. You're always welcome back.
Thank you.
Thank you, Sherri.
Sherri TMZ Warren, we love you.
Yay, I know, right? Totally gave us that scoop tonight. I can't wait to watch this docuseries. And she said it's Discovery Plus, and I believe it's also on Now This. So hopefully everyone who's watching and commenting tonight will go ahead and watch it. And when we see you next week, just let us know your thoughts. So you can just hit us up on our social media. Autumn, tell them where they can connect with you.
Hey guys, you can catch me Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. on WHUR. You can catch me on social media at Autumn Joy with an I Live.
Awesome. You can catch me at Angela Stribling on all platforms. Hit me up. And of course, at WHUR-FM. Tomorrow night, join me right here as I go one-on-one with Kay Michelle. She's got a new TV show. You know, she's just really telling her story and really helping a lot of people. So join us right here, same platform, 9 o'clock. Love you, Autumn Joy.
Love you, my love.
I'm part of your live squad. I'll see you tomorrow morning at 10 o'clock.
I love Pillow Talk with Angela.
Woo-hoo-hoo. Have a good night, everybody.